Hello, Coach Nancy here today, and I'm here to talk to you about cooking without oil. What? When you learned about the Eat to Live lifestyle, the Nutritarian lifestyle, or maybe just today, you found out that oil is not part of this lifestyle. And did your head spin around? If you've been cooking for a long time, you probably thought, how do I cook without oil? Well, I'm here today to give you some tips and tricks and ideas about how that can happen. If you want the short version of what I'm going to talk about today in a written form, you can sign up for our cheat sheets at thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheets, and you can get access to all of the past PDFs as well as this one and any in the future. Recipes, tips, tricks, all sorts of things. So be sure to do that. So how do I cook without oil? Well, first of all, why not oil? Let's talk about that. So what's wrong with oil? It's a highly refined, processed food. It's taking a bunch of walnuts and compressing them, processing them, stripping them of all the fiber, most of the nutrients, and squeezing them and turning a whole handful of walnuts, if you will, into a tiny little amount, but highly concentrated in fat so that the caloric content is huge. This tiny little tablespoon has 120 calories worth of oil, has 120 calories worth of fat in a tiny tablespoon. So that is the reason that we don't use oil in Eat to Live. We are looking at whole foods. So if you want more information about that, please read Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman or The End of Dieting by Dr. Fuhrman. Great books about the lifestyle. So how do I saute? That's an example of a time when people say, I don't think I can do that without oil or butter. Well, I'm here to tell you, to assure you that you can. As soon as you eliminate oil from the scene, if you will, then all sorts of opportunities open up and your creative juices will start flowing. So then you'll start to take say you're going to saute some carrots, onions, and celery. Then you can use plain water for that, just a little splash of water in the bottom of the skillet, and you can stir, 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 stir. You could use some of the vegetable stock from Engine 2. It's very low sodium. It's a great alternative to water for sauteing. You could do a homemade stock as well. You could use a little splash of coconut aminos. It does have salt in it, but just a little splash. You could use some white wine. I have a Sauvignon Blanc here. You could use a little splash of a coconut vinegar. No sodium whatsoever, a lot of flavor. You could even do a little bit of balsamic vinegar, a flavored one like I have here, or just a plain balsamic, a white balsamic, anything to put a little liquid in the bottom of the skillet and then keep it moving. Let me just address the question about skillets, because this is one that comes up often. What kind of skillet? Non-stick, stainless steel. What do I use? Copper. There's so many different ones out there. Bottom line, whatever's going to help you eat vegetables, use that. We've searched Dr. Fuhrman's member site for information about what he thinks about nonstick cookware, and he's fine with it. So no indication not to use it. If you choose not to use nonstick cookware, fine. Especially if it's got, if it's peeling and that sort of thing, and you're getting some of the surface in your food. Obviously that's something you don't want. But make your choice about the cookware that you use and just eat your veggies. Get them in your body. So if we're using skillets, and I'll show you mine real quickly. I have a set of pans that my mother gave me for our wedding, and it is a wonderful stainless steel, and I use this. It's got a 10 layer core. I'm not trying to sell them, I'm just telling you what they are. So as a matter of fact, this company I don't think is in business anymore, but I've had this pan for 30 years and 35 years, and it's still going strong. I haven't beat it up or anything, so it's pretty much indestructible. And then I have a nonstick skillet that I just got. It doesn't matter what brand it is, you can find them anywhere. I just got this at the grocery store, but it doesn't have any nicks, or the surface is fine. So I'm going to use these. I'll show you how to do some onions with them. So we're going to do some browning of onions without water by using a high temperature, not a high temperature, but getting the skillet hot enough, and the onions will exude their own juices, and you can just move them around and make them nice and brown, caramelized, get some good flavor going. And maybe you need a splash of water, but probably not, depending upon your skillet. So there's some great ideas for sauteing, and let me just address, water sauteing probably isn't a proper name, but that's what we call it. Technically, sauteing is cooking quickly in a fat. So sauteing refers to in fat, but we use the term water sauteing because we know what that means. Water, you're gonna do the saute action in water, so heating it quickly. So that's how to do that. And then another way that you may miss oil at first, not after a while, believe me, would be for salad dressings. So salad dressing, what you're looking for is a mouth feel, that richness in your mouth that oil used to provide for you. Maybe way too much mouthfeel. As you get away from it, you'll realize the flavors of food much better, much more pronounced than if they were drowning in some oil. So the things you can use for making a salad dressing base would be some beans. Some great northern beans or cannellini beans are perfect for making a salad dressing base. You can use garbanzo beans, which is what we use for hummus. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make hummus out of this combination, and I can use that as a base for a salad dressing. I think Sherry and I have a favorite salad dressing, which is the hummus that we make, thinned down a little bit, maybe with some lemon juice or some balsamic vinegar, and drizzled on a salad. Easy peasy, simple. Salsa is another great one that you can throw on a salad with some hummus to help coat, and you won't miss the oil, believe me. Make your hummus, of course, with a little bit of tahini or some sesame seeds themselves, and you don't need any oil. So you can do that. You can add a little mustard to it. I like mustard in my hummus. When I make hummus, I add mustard to it. And some other things you could use for a base would be tofu, which is made out of soybeans. Highly recommend the organic variety of tofu. You could use nuts or seeds. You could use walnuts, almonds, pecans, chia seeds, hemp seeds. You could use a little bit of avocado. All sorts of things you can use as a base for your salad dressing. All you need is a little carrier, if you will, to add the flavors in. A little bit of sweet, a little bit of savory, a little bit of spicy, and throw it all together and you have salad dressing. So you won't miss olive oil. You won't miss oil of any kind. Promise you, you're going to get to that place where the flavors of the food itself is fabulous. I remember one time I was on the road and I wasn't well prepared. I needed lunch. So I ran into a grocery store and I bought a 5-ounce box of baby spinach and an orange. And I took that orange and ate a handful of baby spinach and a bit of orange. And I was so hungry, and that was the best combination of sweet and the wonderful crunchiness of the spinach. So you don't even need a dressing. You're going to get to that place where maybe just a little squeeze of fruit juice on top, or maybe some blueberries in your salad are going to take the place of your dressing. You're going to surprise yourself. The more you do this lifestyle, your taste buds are going to change. You won't even miss oil. So one more time, when people say they miss oil and how are they going to cook without oil, would be when you're roasting vegetables. So let me just say that Dr. Furman does not recommend roasting vegetables at a high temperature, and he doesn't recommend browning food. So having said that, Of course, if you want to roast something, you know, cauliflower, I love to do cauliflower in the air fryer. Once a week, it's fine. Just not at high temperatures, not, you know, until it's crispy brown and practically burnt. So that's all. That's the caveat about roasting. But remember when I talked about hummus for salad dressing? I love to do that over cauliflower. Just toss it, add a few more spices, throw it in the air fryer, and it gets a little bit crispy on the outside and soft and yummy on the inside. So good. And you can do that with broccoli, asparagus. You could do a little bit of the broth again, or white wine. Roll the asparagus in that, throw it in the oven, roast it for 10 minutes, and you have a very nice, a nicely done vegetable that's not overdone, and just a nice way of preparing simply in the oven. Sometimes I do those and I take them out and I just cut them into pieces and throw that in my salad. It's not even a side dish. I just use it to add to my salad. So there's some ideas on how you can cook without oil. It can be done. If you have some tips, you've been doing this for a while and you have some ideas and tricks that you use, please put them in the comments below. And remember, if you want the cheat sheet with this information in written form where you can put it with your cookbooks, thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheets. So this is Coach Nancy signing off for today. I look forward to being with you another time. Until then, I'm eating to live with you. Bye-bye.